Kia ora koutou, ko dia ho, haramai. Welcome to today's virtual makerspace. We're going to have a look at some quick rebus puzzles for your brain teasers today. Then we're going to have a look at an illusion, and then our main activity is a wind-up card. Well, I hope you enjoyed those rebus puzzles. Now it's time to take a quick look at that illusion, and then we're going to do our wind-up car and we'll focus on that for the rest of today's session. The first thing we need to do is draw a rectangle on our piece of cardboard. Now, we want the rectangle to be 15 centimetres long and 8 centimetres wide. Now with your pair of scissors, cut the rectangle out. Now we need to mark a couple of dots. We want these to be 2 centimetres from the end and 2 centimetres from the edge. I'm just going to make a slight marking there. It's 2 centimetres actually there. So that's our first dot there. And there's our other dot there. And then we need to draw a line that passes through those two dots. Now we need to draw two lines 5 centimetres along at right angles from the vertical line that we just drew, each one starting at one of the dots. Now, you may need an adult to help. But what we need to do is cut out the area from here, along to here, and here. This has now created a flap. Now we need to draw 2 more lines, which are parallel to the first one. About 1 centimetre in and 7 centimetres in. So we mark 1 centimetre and 7 centimetres. I'm just going to eyeball that and go straight across. Now we need to make 2 dots 2 centimetres in from the end of each line, which is similar to what we did at the start. And then we need to draw a smooth curve from these dots to the end of the other line. You might need an adult to help. Now we need to cut along the curves. Now you might like to paint your chassis. I am lucky because mine is already painted yellow. But if you have time and you have some paint available, it's time to paint your chassis now. Now take your piece of paper. On the piece of paper, we need to draw 2 lines, 3 centimetres and 6 centimetres in from the edge of the paper. I'll just make a few lines here so we can get those straight. So I'm going to mark some each end. So 3 centimetres and 6 centimetres. Oops. It wasn't very straight. Now we want to cut these out to make 2 long strips. Now we need to use a little bit of double-sided tape. And we're going to join these 2 pieces together. Now just set that aside, and now we're going to take the rest of the sheet of paper and roll it around a garden stick, or we've got a skewer here which is a little bit thinner. In actual fact, we might use a straw that's a little bit thicker. Now, before you start rolling, we're just going to apply some more double-sided tape to the end. can take out the straw, and now we need to draw some lines on the tube. So again, take your ruler and mark distances of 2, 4 and 12 centimetres. Now, we need to cut the tubing along the lines we just drew. Just pop those aside. Now, just measure the length of either the garden stick or the straw that you're using. You want them to be 11 centimetres long. And we want to use our double-sided tape. And we're going to tape one end of the strip to our straw and to the middle of our straw. We also need some double-sided tape at the end here. Carefully peel that off. Now we need our chassis back, and we're going to turn it upside down. Just turn that around. Just pull that down there. Yeah. And then we need to feed this through. So just like so. And then with our double-sided tape, just secure it to the end and the middle of the end of your chassis. Now turn it over. Now we need to take one of our short pieces of tubular paper, and we're going to put that on one end here, and we're going to put another one on the other end, and we're going to secure it with some glue. Now I have hot glue. If you're using hot glue, make sure you get an adult to help, or you can use some PVA. Yeah. Now, at the other end, we need to place our longer piece inside our second straw, or whatever it is that you're using, and we're going to place some glue down to this end, about in the middle. So I'll just put some hot glue on there. Okay, now we need to prepare our wheels. So to do this, we need to make some holes in these bottle tops. This is always a tricky proposition, as we do know. So I'm going to use some blue tack, and I'm going to use a skewer and make a hole that way. Okay, so now depending on what you've used for your axles here will depend on how big you will need to make these holes. So mine are fairly big here, so I'm going to just take some time and make these holes a little bit bigger. When you think they're large enough, you need to pop your wheels over the ends of the axles. Now, if your wheels are moving a little bit, or if they're not secure enough, just feel free to secure them with some glue. To make it go, first uncoil your paper a little bit so it's relatively loose. And then when you draw it back, the paper will wind back up and you should be able to drag it back and then let it go. Good luck. Well, thanks for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed today's activities. Ka kite amo.